Hey book nerds, I'm Travis, and this is Travis Reads Books. Today I'm doing a review of The History of Bees by Maja Lunde. I was given an advanced copy of this book by the publisher, so thanks to Simon & Schuster for providing me with that. The book actually comes out today, August 22nd in North America. The History of Bees consists of 3 interconnected stories set across 3 vastly different time periods. The first story takes place in England in 1852. It revolves around a biologist searching for the acceptance of his peers and family as he studies the behavior of bees. The second story takes place in the United States in 2007. It revolves around a beekeeper trying to maintain traditional beekeeping methods in the face of new and potentially dangerous advances in technology, all the while trying to reconcile with his estranged son. The final story takes place in China in 2098. It revolves around a woman whose job it is to hand-pollinate fruit trees long after the disappearance of all the bees. She travels across a dystopian communist China in search of her missing child, who is taken away by the authorities after contracting a mysterious illness. The chapters alternate between the 3 different stories, and they are all interconnected thematically and narratively, though unraveling the mystery of how they're all connected is part of the enjoyment of reading the book. The 1852 section is by far the strongest of the 3 for me. It has a dark and melancholy feel, and it juxtaposes the dreary Dostoevskian minutiae of everyday life with the potential exhilaration and excitement of new breakthroughs in the field of biology. The story that takes place in 2007 is quite interesting and certainly holds your attention, but I found the characters to be very hard to relate to, and therefore the stakes never seemed particularly high. Although I was interested in the story of the beekeeper and his farm, I didn't really care what happened to him or his family because I didn't particularly like any of the characters. The final story, set in 2098, is probably the most unique and exciting, but it's also the weakest, I think, because it relies on some weak world building and a lot of just absurd coincidences to tell a story that really feels at odds with the historical, fact-based tales of the other 2 stories. My biggest problem with this book is that by alternating between the 3 different stories, it can have a very negative effect on the pacing. The rising action of the different stories is not in sync, so while one story is reaching a climax, the other stories might be far from it. And in the middle of an exciting part of the book, you're forced to read through 2 or more chapters of the other stories before you get back to finding out what's going on with the story you were most invested in. I'm not sure if the book would have been better if each story had been told in sequence without alternating between them, but I think it's likely I would have enjoyed it more. That being said, this is still a really interesting and unique book, and despite a few flaws, I really enjoyed my time reading it. The stories kept me invested, and the mystery of how all these stories are interconnected was a strong draw to keep me turning the pages. That was my review of The History of Bees. If you liked the video, be sure and hit like. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure and hit subscribe so you can see all my future reviews. Thanks for watching, love and respect. See you next time.